Hello, and welcome to the Orlando World Sunday Showdown round of 64. In this week's episode, we look at two very popular, yet very different attractions, with an interesting matchup between Animal Kingdom's Avatar Flight of Passage and Universal Orlando Resort's Hogwarts Express. Let's take a look at both attractions. In 2017, Disney Imagineering accomplished not only an unthinkable feat in engineering, but also managed to capture the imaginations of millions of guests who descended on Animal Kingdom, with the opening of Pandora, the world of Avatar, which opened the 26th of May 2017. Along with the Navi River journey, the land featured arguably the park's most impressive attraction, Avatar Flight of Passage, a 3D flying simulator ride, built in similar fashion to Soarin' at Epcot. Flight of Passage became an instant smash hit with park guests, and even 3 years on, the ride still attracts lengthy wait times, due to its immense popularity. The attraction takes riders into the infinite world of the Avatar franchise, where you are treated to an incredible flight through the unique world of Pandora, encountering gravity-defying transitions through various beautiful vistas, interacting with the fauna and flora as you ride on the back of a banshee. Flight of Passage takes the technology featured in Soarin' and pushes the boundaries even further as the ride vehicle resembles a living, breathing banshee, where you feel the movements and breathing patterns, which draw you in even deeper, adding an impressive amount of realism to a 3D theatre simulator ride. Flight of Passage leaves guests stunned by not only a truly immersive experience, but with the delight of sheer freedom that the ride tries to translate to the riders, drawing you away from the reality of being a theatre attraction. Universal Orlando Resort added a unique expansion to the wizarding world of Harry Potter, with the Hogwarts Express attraction, which opened on the 1st of July 2014. What sets the attraction apart from many other park attractions is that it is in essence a people mover railway, used as a transportation system between Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade, located at Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios respectively. The route runs through King's Cross Station and Hogsmeade Station, using a broad-gauge cable railway system, which is designed to travel over a suspended railway bridge, around the backlot areas of both parks. Hogwarts Express is a full-scale replica of the original version designed for the movie franchise. At over 70 metres long, it travels along a 2,218-foot track, as you enjoy a truly immersive experience, as you view a large window screen, which display all the action, as you make your magical journey from one end of the track to the other. The special effects featured throughout the ride, from silhouettes on the train cabin doors, and various other effects, drawing you into the magical world of Harry Potter. Although not technically a theme park ride, its clever inception as a mass transportation service between parks for park hoppers makes it an essential attraction to help maintain a steady flow between both parks. Where using both main access point and foot, or the option to ride by train, go hand in hand in making the transition between both parks as seamless as possible. Hogwarts Express is particularly interesting, given that the aesthetics of the attraction, at least inside the trains, certainly fool you quite cleverly into thinking you are on board a real train. Hogwarts Express offers park guests an enjoyable ride between both main sections of the wizarding world of Harry Potter, meaning that the most avid of Harry Potter fans can enjoy the wizarding world in all its glory, without ever really leaving the highly themed lands between the parks, creating a higher level of innovative inclusion between park guests and the Harry Potter environment. Now let's head into the first round of this week's battle to determine which of these attractions will head into the round of 32. Let's go straight into round 1. Pandora, the world of Avatar, is home to arguably to one of the most highly themed lands in any Orlando theme park. The engineering involved to create the forced perspective of the vastly infinite world of Avatar, from beautiful focal points, and the marvel of the floating islands, which are the central landscape view, are admired by millions of visitors every year. Within the world of alien-like plants and bioluminescent flare lies one of two outer-worldly attractions. The main attraction here is Avatar Flight of Passage, a 3D motion-based simulation ride which is housed behind the magnificent rock face backdrop, featuring cascading waterfalls and springs, and some incredible plant life. The queue for the ride takes you into the remains of a former Resources Development Administration facility, where guests are invited into the ACE Lab, where guests are linked to an avatar and fly aboard a banshee across the Valley of Mora. The story is exciting enough through the pre-ride segments to keep you entertained in the final moments before boarding the ride. Each pod of Ekran vehicles is intricately developed to make riders feel as though they are riding on the back of a living, breathing banshee, as you fly free-spirited across the valley, feeling the wind and waves, and the pulsing heartbeat of the banshee as it soars throughout the journey. The action is incredible as well as beautifully designed, taking guests into the world of Pandora, and capturing the immensely colourful, vivid world from the movie perfectly. The story is good, the ride experience is almost unchallenged for a simulation ride, and is one of the most highly themed and immersive attractions in Disney theme park history. In similar fashion, the Hogwarts Express attraction at Universal Orlando Resort is one of the most important attractions within the wizarding world of Harry Potter. Not only is it a fun experience as an attraction, but it is part of Universal's park transportation service, shuttling guests from both Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios parks. The attraction is themed on the Hogwarts Express, and has some expensive theming at both parks to create the illusion of being within Hogsmeade Station and King's Cross Station, both of which has been created fairly accurately in terms of theming. The train offers a lot of clever trickery, with ultra-high-definition 3D screens in place of the windows, which offer a surprisingly intense level of both depth and detail, as you travel between stations, and depending on the direction of travel, each video offers a slight variation in its content. The cabins are enclosed, and silhouettes and other imagery is projected onto the glass, giving the impression of action going on all around you. The use of 3D audio enhancement brings various effects to life, making the fairly tame but brilliant transitions between parks all the more immersive. The level of detail involved is astounding, considering the attraction is mostly served as a transportation service, similar to Disney's monorail and railroad services, but it takes these to the next level, so much so that Harry Potter fans can stay within the wizarding world without leaving for other theme lands, increasing the aura and fantasy around the vastly impressive worlds. But for round 1, only just by a very small margin, being too close to call, the first point for theme and story goes to Flight of Passage, as it has just so much more to see each time you ride. Let's move on to round 2. Flight of Passage in itself is a near 15-minute experience, taking into account the pre-ride segments, each lasting a few minutes each. The ride itself is a fairly short, but extremely impressive experience, that never fails to keep you fully engaged to everything going on in the environment around you. Flight of Passage releases an euphoric energy throughout the flight, for the entire 4.5 minutes, but does feel a little bit short an experience for those who crave a little more time with the highly popular ride. However, for the brief experience, there is no doubt that the attraction leaves an indelible mark on the memories of riders. The Hogwarts Express attraction is very similar in terms of the ride experience and in duration. The ride between stations is seamless, with a fun feature presentation in each cabin keeping you entertained over the 4-minute journey. In comparison, Harry Potter fans will enjoy the short film feature as a way of passing the short time between parks. Although it might not be thrilling adventure of Pandora, it still does enough in the short time to make it a very clever use of time and technology, making it a worthwhile thing to do between park transitions. But in round 2, Flight of Passage takes the point for being the longer of the two experiences overall. Let's move ahead now to round 3. Flight of Passage in itself has helped to raise the profile of Disney's Animal Kingdom park, with a massive increase in park attendance since Pandora the World of Avatar opened in 2017. The land has just recently celebrated its 3rd full year, with its popularity showing no signs of slowing down, with regular long wait times for Flight of Passage. The attraction has offered guests a wonderful experience since its opening, and it will certainly continue to do so over the coming years. Flight of Passage was in development for several years before it opened, and with increasing advances in technology, coming along at an ever more rapid pace, the creation of the ride and its surroundings has led and paved the way for Disney to develop even more intricate experiences in recent years, with Toy Story Land and Star Wars Galaxy's Edge continuing the pioneering development of creating near impossible real-life worlds. Flight of Passage will remain a benchmark attraction for many years to come. Likewise, Hogwarts Express has pushed the boundaries even further when it comes to mass transportation at theme parks. The emphasis on providing a memorable experience, even while transitioning around the extremely busy parks, is now something that major theme parks are taking into consideration, using every element available in order to create an atmosphere within its parks like no other. For over 6 years, the Hogwarts Express has been an integral part of that process, offering guests the opportunity to not only widen their Harry Potter experience, but to also navigate around the vast resorts and parks in a highly themed way, while being about to take a break away from the hustle and bustle of the crowded parks, in particular at the entry gates. The themed element within the Hogwarts Express has helped with theme park gate traffic, as well as submersing the riders even deeper into the film franchise, as they enjoy their day at the parks. So in round 3, the Hogwarts Express claims a point back going into the penultimate round. Despite its overwhelming popularity, Flight of Passage struggles in one area: its early capacity. It has a fairly average capacity compared to other similar rides, where it can operate with approximately 1,400 guests per hour. However, the added queue elements and pre-ride segments included in this boost the capacity up slightly, giving the ride an approximate early capacity of around 1,800 guests per hour. The ride uses a similar system to Soarin' at Epcot, where pods of Banshee vehicles are mounted on a giant frame with around 192 riders able to experience the ride between 4 giant IMAX screen theaters. The Hogwarts Express experience has a fairly low capacity, mostly accredited to the fact the trains only travel along one single track route, in forward and reverse, with a switch track in the middle. And the loading times contribute to a much lower capacity. Had the track been a loop, it may have been able to accommodate much more guests at a time. The attraction does have the benefit though of transitions between 2 Harry Potter themed areas, which makes it a little easier for transitions, where non-Harry Potter fans can give it a miss if they intend to visit different areas in different parks, and can walk. The Hogwarts Express only has an hourly capacity of just 1,200 riders per hour, meaning, in round 4, the Pandora attraction claims the point going into the final round. Let's move on now to round 5. Before the launch of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, Disney created its biggest and most ambitious park expansion at the time. Pandora: The World of Avatar provides the perfect backdrop for what many theme park guests considered one of, if not the best theme park experience ever created. As soon as you enter the theme land, it becomes an enchanted area, highlighting just a tiny particle of the vast world featured in the movie franchise. But it's more than enough to get the excitement flowing. As you approach the incredibly vibrant frontage of the ride, and make your way through the Ace building hidden behind. The ride is impressive, where it has added so many tiny details which just add to the experience, often without thinking about it, from banshees breathing against you, the wind blowing in your face, the ocean air catching you just enough to immerse you. The story is incredible, the imagery is astounding, and although it isn't the most thrilling or fearful of motion rides, the experience it provides overall is one that is etched on the memory. Flight of Passage rightfully is heralded as one of the best theme park experiences of all time. Hogwarts Express, though, offers a very different experience. Predominantly, the attraction is mostly a mass transit vehicle for park-hopping guests to travel between both parks, and more specifically, both areas of the wizarding world of Harry Potter. The excitement level is quite high, as the technology used within the trains creates a truly unique experience, and draws passengers into a story, which other transportation services at parks just don't achieve to this level. Hogwarts Express is incredibly good fun, and makes the transitions between parks a fairly enjoyable experience. It is however not the most thrilling of attractions, as it is essentially a slow-moving train ride. The ride is a very worthy and valuable addition to the parks, and will certainly be a must-see attraction for Harry Potter fans. But it just doesn't offer the average theme park fans as big a thrill as Flight of Passage. So in the fifth and final round, the Pandora attraction takes the point. Which means, rather surprisingly, we have a runaway winner this week. That does however mean that Hogwarts Express hits the buffers in this battle, and drops out of the competition. Hogwarts Express is a fantastic attraction, which doubles up well as a passage between two parks. It's well worth the ride, particularly if ride times are low, and does help to avoid queuing at the alternate park gates. Avatar Flight of Passage advances to the next round. Join us next week, where we smash our way to Islands of Adventure and to Magic Kingdom for an interesting contest between the Incredible Hulk Coaster and Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. See you next week. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please support us by subscribing to our channel. You can find us on social media platforms. Find us on Facebook and Twitter at Orlando Worlds, and on Instagram at The Orlando Worlds. Thanks for watching.